Good morning. It is Thursday, April 18th. We are 90 days out from July 17th. The DTD2, do the database 2, keeping you out of call bias, making sure you're working through your phone every quarter. We're calling our Ds and Os. We're texting our Ls. Not a single one of you has texted me this week. Well,
not true.
You just texted me this morning. You're such an antagonist. Pedro's here, by the way. Pedro Metch. We're going to talk about something coming up this afternoon at 1:30 that you should not miss. And if you do miss it, it's fine. We'll judge you. It's okay. And then we'll talk about it later. She's going to be back in September. There's your tease, but we'll talk about that in just a second. Yeah, Pedro texted me this morning to let me know that BG's Boathouse is open today. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
So
day.
my biggest challenge is that in all my years on the Seacoast, working all around the Seacoast, I've never been there. And people are so appalled by that.
It's disgusting.
And I think just because I enjoy annoying you so much, I'm probably just going to keep the streak alive at this point. We're just going to keep. Yeah, you guys can send me pictures all summer. You know, over there having your 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. lunches. Yeah.
Hey, when you're out there trying to meet high net individuals, you should be where the high net individuals are.
You should be near the boats and the lobster rolls.
Yeah. Between 11 and 2:30.
Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely. So today we are obviously, Pedro and I are going to talk about some stuff in just a second. We've got Fight Club coming up. That's 9 to 11, Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's today at 9. Go to KWFightClub.com. Cameras on, microphones off. We're making phone calls. You're looking stamps. You're stuffing envelopes. Whatever you're doing for lead gen, we're doing it together, doing hard stuff together because people feel sort of isolated sometimes. I'm sitting on my couch. I was going to pick up my phone, but then I started talking to my cat, and we made some pancakes, and the day got away from me. Happens all the time. We're going to print these shirts eventually, Pedro. If we treat our mornings like a job, we get to treat our afternoons like a career. And I think if we just get into the mechanics of doing what we should do in the morning, that's why we have that safe space on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I can tell you we're going into round 2 of Ignite starting on Wednesday, May 1st. Pedro will be one of our esteemed teachers. I haven't talked to you about that yet. You'll be getting a call today. But that's going to run. I believe I have the dates outside of the Memorial Day weekend. I think it's going to run Wednesday, May 1st through June 17th. So it's only through mid-June for this round. Then we'll take July and August off. We'll come back September, October, and then November, December will be another break. So we're going to be running Ignite for 2 months, every other 2 months, 3 times a year. So there's always a chance. And if you missed it, or if you're just dying to watch it tonight, you're like, you know what? I'm going to go home. It's chilly out again. I'm going to grab a box of wine and just watch back-to-back 2-hour episodes of Ignite. Maybe that's your jam. Maybe you're more of a CSI person. I don't know. But it's there for you. Go to KWCLMHub.com. The learning videos are right at the top. It'll take you into our YouTube channel where all of the episodes from last season of Ignite. Coming up this week on a very special season 2 of Ignite. But we'll talk more about that later. Today, after that, in the afternoon, before you head to BG's Boathouse, which does open today, as Pedro will tell you. Because are you an investor? Do you have an interest over there beyond just being a social?
It's just lead gen, my man.
It's just lead gen. You're going to keep blaming it on lead gen. All right. So can you tag all of your opportunities that you can connect to the Boathouse this year?
I'll work on that.
I would love that. That would be great. Just so we can blame your success on the boats. Today at 1:30, if you've never, ever been in the space, in a room, anywhere near her knowledge, it's a free chance to just jump online, kellertv.com today at 1:30. Don't be late. 1:29 sounds perfect. And we are going to have Antionette Perez, phenomenal maps coach. She does train the trainer, train the presenter, which sound the same, and they're not. They're 2 different classes to get you prepared. It's almost like KW's version of Toastmasters, although I would argue it's a little different for obvious reasons. That being said, she's going to join us for 60 minutes, and she's going to do a taste of Fierce Conversations. If you've ever read the Susan Collins book, Fierce Conversations, it's a phenomenal read. And there's a great class developed around that Antionette delivers phenomenally. She's going to give us just a taste of it. That's why we're calling it that, because 60 minutes will not do it justice, but she'll bring it to life for you. And this is a little bit of a gateway drug to make sure that you understand how brilliant she is for September. And I keep saying this off the top of my heart. I think I have the date right. It's Thursday, September 26th. That's all I can give you right now. We're going to probably do it up in the Lakes region, we think. Antoinette's going to come in and do a full day training. And we really haven't buttoned up what that's going to be. But I can promise you, and Pedro's here to talk about this, I can promise you that she's a phenomenal teacher, because I said yesterday at the All Partners meeting, I would spend 8 hours listening to her read a list of bad phone numbers. Like, you're going to glean some greatness from her. So get a chance to meet her and understand her style and just her wealth of knowledge today, 1:30 to 2:30, Keller TV with a taste of fierce conversations. Every Thursday at 3 is the Tech Mastermind with KT Temple. That is on the Zoom link that is baked into the morning news. And then after that, if you have not yet, or you haven't completely wrapped your arms and your heart around all of the tech, he does do a tech onboarding every Thursday at 4 following the Tech Mastermind, so you can stay on the same channel. And then evening group coaching continues. That is with the great Tiffany Hampton. That's tonight at 6. The link is in the Zoom. That's if you're maybe a dual career agent, or you just can't get enough of it and you want something. Those run Tuesdays and Thursdays. I apologize, they're running Thursdays at 6 right now, because we're doing Ignite on Tuesdays, and then every third Saturday at 9:30. So you really can't escape it. There's help for you somewhere at some point. But I wanted Pedro to come on and talk about BG's Boathouse, and also to talk about Antionette Perez. You took fierce conversations with her. When was that? A couple years ago?
No, last year, Jim Bovey's Market Center in Rhode Island hosted it. So I went down there. It was a 2-day class. There was Game of Thrones. Never seen the show because everybody's hyped it up so much. Between you, Nate, and a bunch of other people I do respect in the industry is always, talk so highly of her. And I'm like, yeah. Just like every other teacher and whatnot. But I had read the book, working on some stuff in my business, and the opportunity came, and I went down, and her alone, not even just the class, her alone blew me away. One of the best teachers I've ever sat in a class with. Hopefully me touting it up doesn't make people not go now, because I'm not ouchy, but and then just the class in itself. I had read the book. Some things that I didn't digest, she definitely drove home. And she's just, I can't explain, once you're just in a room with somebody that alters the world you're in at that moment, that's her for sure.
Yeah. It's, Maya Angelou, said 1,000 years ago, it's, people rarely remember what you say. They'll remember how you made them feel. Right. And being in a room with her teaching, it is not transactional. It is a learning environment. You're gaining knowledge. You're in there for delivery of knowledge. But she, to your point, she makes it experiential. I remember, and there's a local realtor, and the first time I dealt with her, and this goes back, Tom Heaney, who's back as a broker now. Tom Heaney was our team leader. What's that?
The 70s.
Back in the 70s, yeah. Back in the 70s when Nate opened this joint. Tom Heaney was our TL at the time. It was my freshman year, and I was in the midst of a transaction with the great Jane James. And I remember getting on the phone with her, and she would always address me when I called her. And she knew I was standing next to Nate. She knew I was working, at Nate's office, and I was a freshman. And I remember Karen Maris telling me years ago, she goes, "Oh, people look you up. As soon as you call, if they don't know who you are, they're going to look you up and see that you have no production because you just landed." And that was me in my freshman year, obviously. And Jane James gets on the phone, and she's like, "Mr. Lindsay." So if you ever see Heaney and I in the hallway, that's how he'll address me. So I'm picturing Jane James has to be like 7'2". Like, I've built this cartoon nightmare in my head, right? And then I meet Jane James, and she's 3'8". Yeah. So my point being, Antionette Perez, if anybody in the KW ecosystem deserves a Funko Pop, she should have a Funko Pop, because she is one. She's for something if she's lucky, and she's a tour de force, a phenomenal talent. And her style is great. It's funny that you bring up Bovey doing train the trainer and then train the presenter. There's 2 classes, and then in your second class you have to get advanced. And she sort of it's almost like American Idol, and you get voted on. And I found out I'm staying down in Boston. We're going into day 2 of that training, and we all had to present something from the KW curriculum. And the only person in the room that got pushed through was Bovey. Everybody else got voted down. And I had a really rough night. I found out my godfather died. I walk in, my thumb drive wasn't working. So I was doing it off the top of my head. And I just being so nervous because I know that when you know you're getting judged, it makes it even worse. And I knowing that like, oh my God, am I screwing up? And of course, what do? I'm Tacosaurus Rex, right? So I got a little bit wordy and all that stuff. And she, she just, all she did was talk about Bovie moving forward. And then she talked to the rest of us individually. And I was just like, oh my God. And she's like, you'll get there. And I am like, I appreciate Antionette, but she is a force to be reckoned with. And well worth your time.
The 6 perspectives. What is it?
What is it? The 17 personal perspectives, but there's only 6. Right. There's only 6.
In Nashua today.
That's amazing.
That's another person. If you catch wind that she's teaching a class, and
yes,
and I think that I want out in Nashua, that's worth a drive. I would say not just for the class, but like when I went down to Rhode Island for the class, or like people are rolling their eyes, going, "Oh, we got to go to Meredith to hear her teach this class." There's people in Meredith that us on the Seacoast might not have ever met, right. And in that area, I'm purposeful when I go to these classes away out of the market center or out of the region I'm in to meet people, to make referral partners. And I've done that in Rhode Island. I've done that in Connecticut. That's a big thing that shout out to Adam Dow. He's been very influential in me being purposeful about being out networking at these events. If you go to Vegas, family reunion, mega camps coming up, and you're going, I don't know if I'm going to get anything out of the classes or whatnot. Well, you're wrong, first off. And then second off, it's the networking, a high level networking. And that's what this business is about, is building relationships and growing from there. And it's measurable. Talk about, who can I meet this year, this summer at BG's? I can show you direct lines of revenue from classes I went and people I sat next to and relationships I built and referral partners I built. So don't roll your eyes and not go to Meredith, because there's many tiers of greatness that you can achieve from a short drive and a great class.
Yeah, phenomenal point. There's such a massive referral ecosystem within 463 because of our geographic footprint. And then when you think about the opportunity, just the wealth of knowledge, the talent that's in New England, and then the ability to be doing referrals, because a lot of you, there's a handful of you that cover 4 states at 463. There's some of you that cover 3, and then a wealth of you that cover at least 2. And there's such a great opportunity just going down over the border to another bold, or to a class that's going to be at Erdman's Place in Connecticut, or Bovie in Rhode Island. And going up to Meredith, if you've never been up there, like if we're not all cross-pollinating within 463, you're missing out. You guys have an opportunity to sell stuff up in Canada with Joey Sweat, because he's 10 minutes from the border,
I take the commercial business planning clinic every year, and I've taken yours for years, and I really enjoy yours as well. And, it's always in my calendar to go down to Chestnut Hill when you teach it down there, because have I already gotten the information?
Two reasons.
Yeah. I've already got the information, but I'm refining the information with you for sure. But then, the networking. It's if we're leaving that out, we're missing a big piece of the pie of what we have for magic here at Keller Williams worldwide.
And Kowloon on the way home. You left that part out.
Yeah, we want them to earn it.
The networking and the Kowlooning.
It's like luxury too. You got to earn into Kowloon.
It's tier 3. You have to earn into Kowloon. Awesome. Pedro, I appreciate you making time. I literally texted him. He was in hair and makeup. I'm like, it was like 8:27. I'm like, can you jump on? He's like, when? I'm like, no. He's like, I'll be right there. Your hair looks great, by the way. We look forward to seeing you. Pedro is a member of our 2024 ALC. We've got a meeting with them today, and then we will all be joining you guys at 1:30 Keller TV for a taste of fierce conversations with Antionette Perez. If we can help with anything, let me know. It is 603-834-2856. You can book my face online at meetwithcoach.com. If you need help with commercial or just being a good-looking, wonderful person, you can reach out to Pedro. Pedro, your phone number if people need to talk to you about a commercial opportunity.
339-224-0912. And I did residential for quite a while too. So if there's something that is a little sticky for you or whatever it is, feel free to reach out. I still remember some of the pains there, some of the successes as well. But I love to see you in the office.
Awesome. Thanks, Pedro. We'll see you soon. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.